Hey, Casey. Just wanted to have you on before I let everyone else in. Let me share my slideshow. Mm, I lost the waiting out. Okay, there we go. Hello, everyone. Happy
Hi.
Monday. Happy July. Thanks for coming. I'm going to give it one more minute before we get started, but thanks for being on and excited to talk through everything before we see everyone in person so soon. Alrighty, I will go ahead and get started. More people join us, great. But we just want to kind of do a little overview of everything for a convention because we know that some people have never been before or it's been a while and just wanted like a chance to kind of like connect and get some questions answered and go over some things. So um make sure that you have the convention app if you don't already. It is a great, amazing app. I love it so much. As we've been planning and doing work, I like keep looking at it because like the schedule's right there. It's so easy to find everything, and we're going to be using it a lot over the weekend. So make sure that you download it if you don't have it already. Make sure to get on the convention app because it's the greatest thing ever. Oh, we got more people coming. So exciting. All right. So I just thought we would do some introductions. If everyone would go around and just say their name, what chapter are they from, and what part of the convention are you most excited about? Is there anyone that wants to kick things off and get us started? I guess I could start too if people really want that. So I'm Jenna. If you don't know me, I'm Jenna Zelinsky. I'm the programs director here at Omega Phi Alpha. I'm an alum of the Omega chapter at Rutgers. And I'm really excited about seeing everyone in person. There's so many people over the past couple of years that I've only connected with virtually and then I've never met in person. Casey being one of them. I've never met Casey in person before, but her and I talk all the time. So really excited to get to like see people in person next weekend, which is so crazy. That's almost here. I'm gonna mute, but feel free to just unmute yourself and jump in. Casey, I can't hear you.
Hi. Ay, ay, ay. Tech problems, let me tell you. My name is Casey Stevens. I'm from Phi Chapter. I'm going to echo what Jenna said. I feel like the best part about convention is always meeting new people, especially folks who you may have seen or interacted with virtually, and now you get to actually like see them in the real. So it's wonderful. Like see them in their own skin. It's wonderful. But I also just love reconnecting with folks who I've met before, or have known forever. So, and I love meeting all of you all because you're new, and I literally don't think I've met any of you, yeah, at all. So, yay, exciting.
I'll go next. I'm Lindsay. I am an alum of the OG Omicron chapter at Auburn. I've never done convention before, so I'm super excited just to be there and go and meet everybody and just have a weekend of O5A stuff because I think it's probably been since college since I got to do that. So I'm super excited just to do all O5A stuff, just be there.
I can go next. My name is Brooke Nolan. I'm part of the Alpha Z chapter at UCF. And I'd say that I'm the most excited about meeting everyone and just learning about everybody's chapters. And yeah, I'm just excited.
I'll go ahead and follow her up. I'm from the same chapter at UCF. Um, I'm most excited just to kind of get a deeper knowledge of OFIA. I have the base knowledge and everything that we learn, and I'm the membership director for this year at our school, so I'm excited to get a little bit more knowledge going into that. So, yeah.
I'll go next. I'm Jamie Davis. I am part of the Alpha Delta chapter at Georgia Southern, and I'm really excited to meet everybody. And like the previous person said, just learn more about OFA.
I can go. My name is Abby, and I'm from the Alpha Pi chapter at West Virginia University. And I'm really excited to just meet girls in person and get a little more knowledge about stepping into the vice president role.
Well, awesome. Thank you. Julianne, I don't know if you're able to unmute, but it's okay if you can't.
She's at work actually. She's
No worries.
also in my chapter. But she's just at work.
Yeah, no worries. No worries at all. For the active members, I'm gonna say you're gonna get so much knowledge and info. When I went as an active, I felt like I just got like so many new ideas to bring back. So it's gonna be great. So here's just kind of like what we're gonna go over for today, just a little agenda so you kind of see what's in store. But let's just, get into it. So basically here's a little overview. The full schedule is in the app and like you've gotten a lot of emails and things like that, but I just wanted to take time to kind of like talk through quickly. But I believe majority of people are coming in on Thursday, so you'll do some like registration and check into the hotel. We are having our consultation cafe on Thursday, which I'll talk a little bit more. I'll go into like what we're doing for each of these names in a little bit. We're gonna have a chance to get together for our welcome gathering. We're gonna have sisterhood bingo that night, and then you're gonna have a lot of free time to kind of like go off and explore Greenville. Friday, again, we kick things off with consultations again. We're gonna have some business sessions, some breakout sessions and workshops, and then another free time at night and other times throughout the day. Saturday is pretty jam-packed, but it's also usually the best day of convention, as we're gonna have again more consultation cafes, but also we're going to have not one but two service projects happening, a few more business sessions to wrap things up, some breakout sessions and workshops, and we have our alumni society induction and awards gala on Saturday night, which is always the highlight. And then Sunday we'll have brunch and goodbyes as people travel back home. And like I said, even on the app, as you click in on events, it will give you some more info, but we're going to get into it as well. So here again are like kind of the list of all of the different kinds of sessions and event types that we're going to be having over the course of the weekend. And just to get into it a little bit. So business sessions are kind of used to review our legislation proposals for our national constitution and bylaws. And we have multiple ones to kind of like just like break things down. And we really just want to like run it really smoothly, which is why we do things like this. And we want to like minimize the amount of time we're in business so we can focus, on some more fun things. We'll also be going through like the state of the sorority, like where the whole organization is at, as well as the budget for the year. And we have two types of agenda meetings, and Casey will talk a little bit more about this in a little bit. But we'll have like basically things that are like consent, like that the group agrees on, that's like a yes, no, like we voting this in, we're not voting this in. And then other things we have a discussion for, which is like we open to the floor and we have like discussions and go through it a little bit deeper. But just so you kind of have an idea of what that part is, because I know if you've never been before, it could be a little scary, intimidating, especially if you're a delegate, if you're not sure about how it runs down. But again, all the legislation is available for you to review. And Casey's here and she's gonna talk us through a little bit more in a little bit. We also have some great breakout sessions and workshops. There are things that are going to be happening throughout to learn a little bit more like within our core values. We have so many different ones. I'm leading one with Taylor, our outgoing chapter health manager. Her and I are doing one together. We have like a personal finance one, there's emotional intelligence ones, there's a ton of workshops. And we also have this VAR mental health certification training that everyone's gonna do. You should have already signed up for what sessions you're attending, but if you haven't, we'll figure it out. It's gonna be okay. But we try to advise like that your two delegates try to like split and attend separate ones, so that way you can like get as much as possible, but it's okay if that's not the case. And this is mandatory and required for like voting delegates, same with the legislation sessions, because you have to, be there to vote. That's what you're here for. As I brought up the consultation cafe, but basically we have a time where you could talk to myself or Taylor or Stormy, one of our chapter health specialists. We have some new chapter health specialists starting, and one is going to be there over convention weekend, so that's very exciting. Some board members might come in too, but it's just a chance to kind of like, one-on-one and talk through different chapter needs, any type of like questions you may have, if you need some advice or just want to like go over something, if you have a question about OPA portal. Our annual financial report is coming up to be due, so if you have questions about that, that's a good time to kind of just check in on that. But if you do have a chapter health specialist for the fall, this is like where you'll be able to meet with them and connect, and you can kind of go over things for the fall to be set. And we are offering this every day of convention, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, every full day. So there'll be plenty of opportunities to kind of talk and check in with us as needed. So obviously we gotta have a service project at convention, and we're gonna be holding two projects on Saturday, one for the period project and one for McCall Hospice House, and they're both gonna be benefiting Greenville, South Carolina, which I think is great that we can make an impact on the area that we're gonna be in over the weekend. And it's good, everything's gonna take place on site in the hotel, and we're gonna be prepping kits for the period project and snack bags for Hospice House. And again, this is another required event, but obviously like it's an event everyone wants to be at, because at the end of the day, that's what we're here for. And it goes, with the spirit of, helping hands throughout this year, which I love how everything is kind of coming together like that. So we also have our Alumni Society inductions, which are happening on Saturday night, right before the gala. So it's time to kind of honor members to celebrate their big milestones. And these are like the levels and the years. And I believe we have people in almost every category, which is like super exciting. I'm 1 year shy of my topaz, unfortunately. I'm a little annoyed about that, but it's okay. I'll get there. And then what I think is like one of the best parts is our awards gala. This is where we get to really just celebrate everything and do awards, and we're gonna have dancing and a photo booth, and it's gonna be a great time. So this is just a great chance to like get dressed up and celebrate everything. I'm very excited about the 360 photo booth. I think those things are so cool and so fun. So I think it's gonna be a really great night and a really great way to kind of like end and wrap things up. And then what else do we have in store? On Thursday, we're gonna have like a chance to where we can all kind of get together. We're gonna have sisterhood bingo. We have a vendor expo. I know Kendra Scott is gonna be there with like some discounts and some jewelry. I know we have Savannah Bee Company coming, and we also have like some like informational like booths as well, and like about service, about leadership, about like education, a lot of different things at the expo. So I think that's gonna be open throughout the whole weekend. So that's gonna be really great. Everyone's gonna get a swag bag, which, I mean, who doesn't like free things? We always love free stuff, especially OFIA stuff. Every night we also have active and alumni suites, which will be open up, and it's just a great chance to kind of like convene and hang out all together in a nice suite setting, and we'll have snacks in there and other food and some goodies, and it's just a nice time to kind of like wind down and hang out at the end of the night, like in one place all together, and it will be like communicated when those are open and where those are located and all of that. And then, I mean, I think it's really fun to travel somewhere new. I've never been to Greenville, but I've heard really great, amazing things. And there's all of these like great things that are happening just like right in front of our hotel. And everything's kind of like walking distance, which I think is really awesome and fun. Like there's like a free concert, I think Friday night, and there's a lot of like shopping, and there's like karaoke and mini golf. There's like a park with a waterfall, and there's a lot of museums. So, and there is some downtime where you'll have time to like explore and do some stuff. And personally, and then there's a gym and pool. I love to go to a pool while I'm at a hotel, so I'm excited about that too. So it's gonna be a great time. We have so many fun and exciting things in store, and I think it's really great that we've made this shift to doing less business, because the last time I've gone to one, it was pretty heavy business, and things that took a lot of time. So I think it's great that we are able to kind of like shift and focus on sisterhood and service a little bit more. But now I'm going to pass it over to Casey, who is the lovely lady behind our Instagram, but she is also and many other things, but she is parliamentarian this year, so she's going to be going through Robert's rules and all things legislation.
Awesome. So I've served as parliamentarian before at convention 2013 in Pittsburgh. So that was a long time ago. Holy moly, over 10 years ago. I can't believe that. I'm old, clearly. But essentially, hopefully, your chapters are using Robert's rules for your chapter meetings. And we really try to follow Robert's rules of order during our business sessions when we are considering legislative proposals, when we're going to vote on the budget. So those big business meetings is really where this is going to come in handy. So just think of these next number of slides as kind of a quick refresher. Hopefully it's a refresher for you on Robert's rules. So when we're going through our legislation, let's just use that as an example. Any member, anyone who is in attendance, you don't have to be a delegate, can move to do all sorts of things. So you can make that formal proposal to recommend a course of action. So whenever you make a motion, you don't say, I make a motion to. You will say, I move, or Casey Stevens moves to do what and when. So after a motion has been made, someone will second that motion. And then usually, almost all the time, there will be discussion. So that's kind of the quick steps is, we'll have tons of different things, not really tons, but a number of different things that we will consider as we go through convention. And it doesn't matter, like I said, if you're a delegate or not, you can make motions, you can participate in discussion. You only get to vote if you are an actual delegate for your chapter, a voting delegate. So next slide, please. So here is a sample motion. So really simple, right? Like the chair is Brittany, our national president. She will be saying the things like the chair does. So typically that would be your chapter president, right? So they would entertain motions to amend the Constitution, say that I'm number 24. You all will be assigned cool numbers that will identify you for our convention secretary. I can't tell you how hard that job is. It's really difficult, and there's no way for our convention secretary to get everyone's names. So you get a number. Sorry. So I would say number 24, move that we accept the amendment number 1 as written. The chair, Brittany, would then say, we have a motion to accept amendment number 1 as written. Is there a second? And another member will say, yeah, I'm number 52 and I second the motion. Then we'd go into that discussion / debate. Next slide, please. So here is a sample amendment. This is really similar to what our legislative proposals look like. Hopefully you've looked over them, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, because somebody you're listening to her put lots of time into that. And Jenna was part of our amazing legislative committee this year. So you'll always see, okay, here is what we want to, what section of the Constitution or bylaws we want to change. We'll also show the changes and then provide rationale. So let's, for example, say that, okay, this says that Andy Hickson, a Dancing with the Stars enthusiast, has submitted this. Because she submitted it and she's at convention, she gets to propose this amendment in front of everyone. So I know, for example, the first amendment that we are going to consider this year, I submitted. So me as the submitter, I get to move to accept my amendments and I get to explain it. And then discussion gets to open after it's been seconded. And I can go into that rationale for why I proposed this amendment to our Constitution. So for this example, Andy has said, hey, I want to change section C and renumber all the sections after that to say that convention delegates must do the hokey pokey and turn themselves about. Very silly. We used to do an example with cookies. That was a whole thing. So her rationale says, hey, if you're going to be a convention delegate, you better have some dancing skills. So after she says, here's the amendment, then this is what will happen. Discussion will happen, all of that. Everyone, we move to vote on it, and voting happens. This is what happens to the Constitution, right? So that section C gets added in, and then that previous section C becomes D and moves down. So that's what's going to happen in a lot of our things. There's a few things where I know Jenna has a big long amendment that has a few renumberings and whatnot, but it's pretty straightforward. After we approve all the amendments and everything, I get to go through and update the Constitution, and that's always really fun because our national Constitution is really, really, really long. So next slide, please. There may come a time where there could be a secondary amendment. So for example, let's go to our hokey pokey example. Let's say that Abby doesn't like the hokey pokey. She would prefer that folks know how to do the tango. Okay, so instead of it saying must do the hokey pokey and turn themselves about, I want it to be the tango. Okay, cool. Fine with me. If I have proposed the amendment, somebody else has to second it, there can be more discussion, but everybody has to approve that hokey pokey gets changed to tango. If that happens, cool, it gets changed to must do the tango. What if I say I want it to be the Argentine tango? Very specific, super specific, right? There would have to then be, again, another second and more discussion. If for some reason people say, we don't want it to be the Argentine tango, it goes right back to being the tango. And that's the motion at hand. So there can be multiple levels of this. It can get really confusing, and that's what I will be there for, to help keep everyone on task and understand exactly what we are discussing at that time. So if you by chance say something about the hokey pokey when we're discussing the tango, you'd be out of order. And I might say, hey, Jamie, no, that's not what we're talking about. You're out of order. Let's get back to the subject at hand, which is we're talking about the Argentine tango, not the hokey pokey anymore. So that's what I'll be there for. Don't worry if you get confused and I call you out of order. It's nothing against you at all. I just want to keep everybody on task. All right, next slide, please. So if that secondary amendment passes, that tango, then, right, instead of being the hokey pokey, it'll be must do the tango. So tons of different levels will be good. Discussion can range in terms of time, and that actually is gone over here in a few slides. So we will set rules of the day, which will state how long initial discussion goes for. Once that period of time is up, usually it's like 5 minutes max, someone will either have to move to extend discussion by a period of however many minutes they determine, usually like 2 minutes. If nobody says, yes, let's extend discussion, and nobody approves that, we go directly into voting. So it really depends on the amendment, how much people want to talk about it, Abby, that it depends on that, how long discussion will actually take. We don't have to take the full 5 minutes too. So if it's pretty straightforward and there's no crazy questions or anything like that, it could be really quick. We could get through our legislation agendas very quick. So hopefully that helps. Cool, let's go to the next slide here. So I went over this in my legislative reviews, but it's very important for you all to know what actually, like what threshold we need to get for votes for things to be approved. For all of the amendments concerning our Constitution, there must be a 3/4, 3/4, 75% approval, affirmative vote. So 75% of the voting delegates must say, yes, we approve this amendment. For the bylaws, it's slightly lower. So a 33% or 66.666, you get it, 2/3 vote. So any of the amendments that we are proposing for the bylaws must pass with a 2/3 affirmative vote. Substantive proposals are things like big initiatives or other proposals that folks may submit even at convention, where 2/3 of the delegation has to approve it for it to be approved and kind of go into action. Usually it considers things like processes and procedures or policies or things like that, or it could be something as silly as how everyone should wear their pins. It could be all sorts of things. When it comes to those secondary amendments, let's go back to the tango example. We only need a simple majority for things to be approved as a secondary amendment or to extend discussion or things like that. We'd love it if you would wear your pins, Jamie. I will be wearing both of mine. I have a really blinged out active pin. You're not required to wear them though. We would just love it if you do. Next slide, please. I feel like we already went over that. There we go, voting methods. All right, so there may be different ways that we vote. So a voice vote, if all those are in favor, you would yell out aye. If you say no, all those not in favor, all those opposed, nay, no. So we would hear that. It'd be very sound driven. So the chair, Brittany, our national president, would, based on how much sound she hears from a or no, I, no, I, nay, whatever, would make that determination on whether something passes or not. The next one is serpentine. We'll get into that. So serpentine is, we would go through all of our tables, delegate by delegate, and kind of go down the first table, all the way to one end, to the next one, all the way to the next end, and then same, all the way back. So just like a little snake, just to make sure that we can get through everybody and make sure that we can count every single vote and make sure that we're getting everyone voting. This will be really helpful in places where maybe the vote, like if say Brittany calls for a vote by voice, and it's not very clear which side is the winner, we may go into a serpentine vote.
And
There's a few other ones, roll call, where we would call each chapter or each alumni region by name and ask your delegates to say what your vote is, like 2 yeses, 2 nos, 1 yes, 1 no, whatever it may be. Secret ballot is usually only used for elections, but we may do a secret ballot on something if it really is that big of a deal. And then unanimous consent, that happens usually just for like procedural things, nothing too crazy.
And just so you all know, the room is like set up like this table wise, and every table will have like a name tag. Will say like your name, like your chapter, like active or alumni, and it has like your number there too, just so you're aware.
Yeah. So here goes back to the voting. I know it was asked in the chat a moment ago. How many votes does each chapter get? How do you know who your voting delegates are? Pretty much if you're the 2 folks coming from your chapter, you are the ones representing your chapter, you are voting. Some chapters are sending multiple people to convention, so only 2 of their people actually get to cast votes, 2 of their members. So each active chapter in good standing gets 2 votes. Each chapter on conditional status only gets 1 vote. And then alumni delegates are separated into different regions, and per region, they have a certain number of votes. So I think there's 18 delegates or something like that. So there will be 18 total alumni votes, but each alumni delegate, they know who they are, will get a single vote. Next slide. So some weird odds and ends. Like I mentioned before, you can move to extend by a discussion by a certain number of minutes. Be specific. So I, number 14, moved to just extend discussion by 2 minutes. Extending discussion is not debatable. It literally just goes directly into a vote. Yes or no. Needs that 2/3 majority to go on. So not that just simple majority. We want to make sure that we really do need that just extra discussion. So question is something that you may hear. If someone says, I, number 14, move the previous question, it means I want to go directly into voting on this. It's not debatable whether or not we move to a vote or not. It just goes straight into a vote. Yes, we are all collectively okay with voting on the amendment at hand or the proposal at hand. 2/3 need to say yes for us to just go directly into a vote, and then we vote. Okay, so 2 steps there. Friendly amendments. So you may hear 1 or 2 of these when we go through our proposals. So a friendly amendment is something that would change the wording or a word in a sentence or in the proposal without changing the intent or rationale of that amendment. So if I, as the motion maker, if I proposed that we say the hokey pokey is the dance that our delegates must know, and somebody says, will you take a friendly amendment to make that the tango? And I am completely opposed to that. That is not a friendly amendment. However, if it's just dance or something like that, and I'm like, sure, cool, why not? That does not change the intent of my amendment. Then I'm cool with just making that change on the fly as we're going through our discussion. And that'll get noted in our minutes that a friendly amendment was made. So it's something that is not controversial, is not super out of context. Hopefully that makes sense. So rules of the day, like I mentioned, we will have a few rules of the day. Some of them are pretty straightforward, but the rules are set prior to business starting. So I will post them up on the screen probably and say, okay, here's the rules of the day. If you are not following the rules of the day, I can call you out of order. So if we say, hey, discussion's only going to be for 5 minutes and we literally just hit the timer on 5 minutes, I might let you finish your sentence, but then we're done. So somebody either has to move to extend that discussion or we're done. Here's a few other examples that are like not related to amount of time that we're going to do, etc. Like the number of people needed to pass something, all that good stuff. So rules of the day examples. Don't use your cell phones during meetings unless absolutely necessary, right? I don't want to see you guys sitting there fiddling with your phones. You'll have some fun fidget toys instead and putty and all of that in your swag bags. Rose twirls are another cool thing. Actually, I have my rose right over there. But everybody will get a yellow rose when you get to convention. And this is a great way for you to raise your hand in discussion or twirl your rose up if you agree with somebody. So instead of me saying, yeah, I really agree with Jenna and her amendment because X, Y, Z, and then Jordan goes up and says literally the exact same thing. I agree too. We don't need to do that. That's what the roses are for. We can all see that, oh, this many people are in agreement here. If I dissent, if I don't like it, maybe I twirl my rose down. I'm like, no. And we'll always have limited discussion time on things. So I'll probably set that at about 5 minutes max to start. Questions on rules of the day? They'll be pretty straightforward once we get there and they're up in front of you. Cool. Next slide. Yay, I'm done.
Great.
So awesome. If you guys have any questions once we get there, or you're like nervous going into business, don't be. A lot of you will all be learning together. I know my first convention I attended as an alum, my first convention in 2010, and it was super jarring. It was super weird for me, but you get the hang of it pretty quickly. And we just try to keep everybody on task. And it's, like I said earlier, there's no offense at all. We're not trying to be mean or anything. We're just trying to keep everybody on task, make sure that we get through our business agendas, we approve everything that needs to be considered so that y'all can have fun, right? Like Jenna said before, this is probably one of the smaller business agendas that we'll have that I've ever seen since 2010. So we're really trying to make sure that you all have so much time for fun, connecting with others, meeting new people, networking, all of that. So yay.
Thank you so much, Casey, for going through all of that. Yeah, I agree. You do catch on from like watching other people, but like I know I went my first time as an active, and then I went like 2 years later as an alum, and I went to like raise my rose and I like forgot how to say something, and like people will help you. Like people are gonna help you like say it correctly. Like no one's gonna be mean to you or call you out. Like they're gonna help you like word it correctly so you can like get involved in the discussion, like say things, voice your opinion, things like that.
Yeah, don't be scared to raise your rose. Don't be scared to get your name in the minutes. Like,
yeah,
you want to be there. You all are going to represent your chapter, and you want to make sure that your chapter's voice is heard.
But there isn't, I agree, in the legislation, there's nothing that I think should cause a big uproar. But again, you never know. Things always happen, but I think everything should be good. So I'm going to go into, thank you again, Casey, but I'm going to go into some tips and things just to make convention the best experience, especially as we head forward. So, I went to business tips. So as we were saying, like make sure again raise things up so people know like you want to talk, like they'll have your number and they'll write it down. Like Casey will write down, okay, I see 52 23 64, and then she'll go back and call people out. Like we were saying, it's okay if you're confused or need help. You can ask if you need help. It's all gonna be okay. I promise you. It might be overwhelming at the beginning, but you'll get the hang of it. We already talked about the rose swirls, which are super fun to do. I know some chapters do it, some don't. And if you don't, you might want to bring it back to your chapter because it is kind of fun to do. And it helps with.
I actually find myself doing it
Me
like
too.
even at work, which is pretty bad. I'll just like go like this, like yep. So
And then overall, we just expect everyone to just be like patient, respectful, and understanding. We all, want what's best for the organization, and it's really important that because we only do these things every 2 years, so it's important that we do it. But at the same time, we want to listen to one another, be respectful, and just like be patient and know that, more of the fun things are coming. But overall, take time to meet people from other chapters. I feel like that's been the common consensus among the group, is that like everyone's just really excited to meet other people. So really just make sure obviously, you don't want to just stick to your chapter, take your time to really branch out. Meet alumni. Casey and I want to meet you. There's so many other alumni that we love to meet and chat. So definitely don't be afraid to talk to anyone and everyone. We all have something in common at the end of the day, right? Attend our sisterhood activities. Like I said, we're gonna have bingo and other things throughout. Explore Greenville, who knows if you'll ever be there again. We picked the cities. Well, I didn't pick it, but the team that plans convention, they picked the city for a reason. They really try to find like the best places for us to go to that are going to be like a good time for everyone. So I'm really excited to go down because everyone's been hyping it up to me, so I'm excited to head there for the first time. Take time to talk with us during Consulting Cafe. Take advantage of that. Again, we want to meet you. You're going to learn so much, not just only like in business, but from one another. And just know like it's okay to be overwhelmed sometimes. Take a deep breath. We're going to have like a quiet room with some things. So if you are feeling really overwhelmed, you can like step into there. You may not get a lot of sleep over those couple of days, and that's okay because it's just going to be jam-packed and you're gonna be having fun. And again, just try to have as much fun as possible. So Taylor did send out an email with the packing and what to wear list, and it's also, both of those things are in the convention app. I believe if you go to more, I'm just gonna pull it up quick. If you go to Eventee, and then, if you click more, they have both the packing checklist and the what to wear guide. But make sure you have all the important things you need. It's gonna be very hot down there, so make sure you got your sunscreen on. You have all your chargers and your headphones. If you want to bring like your computer or your tablet, whatever you might need. Definitely a water bottle. You need 2 business casual outfits for our 2 days of business, something for the gala, obviously a lot of casual clothes, some OFA stuff, your pajama swimsuit, if you want to like use the pool, and definitely bring your pin. I'll be wearing mine too, as Casey said she's wearing hers, but definitely wear it. But yeah, for like service, we want everyone to wear like ideally their convention shirt, but if not, just like an OFIA shirt. But otherwise, you could just wear whatever like makes you feel good, whatever, casual clothing that you feel comfortable in. For our business sessions, that is like business casual. So some examples of that. And again, if you're unsure, and no one's gonna like be like, you're out of dress, but just dress appropriately. If you have questions, you could totally reach out to me or Taylor. It does get chilly in the hotel, like even though it's South Carolina in July, it still gets kind of chilly in the hotel. So I would definitely bring like a little sweater, or something, or like I remember one year I like didn't bring a sweatshirt to the hotel like for nighttime and I was very cold. So definitely bring something like that. And we're also offering headshots over the course of the weekend. So like kind of keep in mind like what you're gonna be wearing for your headshot. Maybe you probably want like a solid color, nothing like too busy. But just, keep that in mind, like what you want to wear when you get your headshot done. And then for the Alumni Society inductions and our awards gala, you want to wear your best fit. Really just wear like what makes you feel good and what you feel dressing up in. Everyone's going to be kind of on different levels. Like some people might be wearing like a long dress or a short dress. Like I know a lot of people like sparkly stuff in our group. Some people might just wear like nice pants and a top. Really just whatever makes you feel good, you can wear. But just, keep in mind that we're going to be taking a group photo too. So keep that in mind. There's gonna be lots of pictures that night for sure. So, it's kind of like I love to dress up, so it's like your chance to do that, but there's gonna be a lot of varying degrees.
Yeah, and I'll be going around during the whole convention too, taking photos and video and stuff for social and all of our things. So, yeah, like really, it doesn't matter what you wear, honestly. Like the business casual, like last year or the last convention, I mean, jeans and an O5 polo shirt is perfectly fine. You know, like if you want to be like dressed to the nines in a jacket, cool, go for it. But yeah, with the alumnus society and induction and awards gala, like it was completely ran the gamut in Fort Worth while we were there. Like I think I had kind of more like a sundress, like maxi dress on, and there were people in full sequins. So it's really up to you what you're comfortable in, but like it'll be so much fun regardless.
Yeah, we just want everyone to like to be really comfortable and happy. We don't want people to have to like go out and buy anything. We don't expect that. You go at the end of the day, I think everyone here kind of knows our values and where we're at. Like, and we're just here to like spend time together. And you know, just have everyone shine. So just as long as you feel good, that's what matters. Any questions about anything? I know we talked about a lot tonight. I see there's something in the chat. No, Jamie, you don't need to bring anything to business. Just yourself. We'll have a lot of stuff there. You're gonna get like a packet that has the legislation too. So you can kind of look at it. We usually have like pens supplied for everyone, like you'll have your rose. So you don't need to bring anything. I would say like a water bottle, you know, or we're gonna have like the sweets open to like get a snack if you want to like grab something like that. But otherwise, no, you don't need anything.
Yeah, just bring the packet that you'll get when you check in because it'll have like the agenda, like the full agenda, the schedule, the legislation, like Jenna said. And I think you all will get pens and stuff like that in your swag bags and like little notepads and things like that too. So whatever is in there that you feel like you might want for taking notes or like whatever, definitely bring that.
So Abby, the meals that are included are we are gonna have like a small breakfast like every day open, like grab and go type things. And then for the gala, there's gonna be food there, but otherwise like lunch and dinner are on your own. I know some chapters are like, oh, we can give you X amount towards food, and some chapters didn't do that. But otherwise it is on your own. And then if you sign up for brunch on Sunday, depending on when like your flight is, and that's like also gonna be like a grab and go type of thing. Like so I think that starts at 9 or 9:30. But yeah, otherwise meals are on your own. And I know there's a lot of stuff in the area walking distance, and like every day there's time for lunch and stuff. And yes, we have everyone's dietary restrictions. I believe when you registered, we have that. But if you're like unsure if yours went in, you could reach out to me and I can like look it up for you. I have like a list of like what people supplied. Yeah, no problem. Any other questions about anything? They always reach out to. Did anyone pre-order any of the merch? I did. Did anyone else?
I'm pretty sure I got the makeup bag and a hat and I think a shirt.
Yes, I got the makeup bag too. I'm a sucker for those. I have so many. I love having them.
I think Brooke and I both got the shirt too.
Cool. Yeah, we were really excited about that. So I think that's gonna be really fun to have. Cool. Okay, let me see. Yes, there is gonna be some stuff for sale, Jamie. We're gonna have a few things for sale, so you'll be able to get some stuff, no worries. Any other questions at all about anything convention? Was this helpful to kind of like check in and like get more an overview and stuff? Okay, I see lots of nodding. Great. I'm happy to hear that. I know I'm someone that like needs all the info before going. I remember before I went to mine, I was like, I need to know like everything possible. So I was happy to do this to kind of supply everything out to everyone so people feel good going. Yeah, if there's nothing else, just everyone have a good night. I'll see you in 10 days. I can't wait. But I'm gonna email this out so you can like refer back to. All right.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah. See you guys so soon. Safe travels. Have a good 4th of July. Bye.
Have a 4th. Have a good one.
Bye.